Good evening, everybody. 6:31 p.m. Tuesday, July the 20th, and we're looking at a 15-minute chart of the Euro USD, and it's come down off of its high of 130 or so. I had in my last video, didn't post, but it's there, that it was going to touch 130 overnight and come back down, and then came back down and hit this line that's in that last video too that hadn't been touched, and it bounced from there, and it's hit a 38% Fibonacci. Now where it goes is the question. What's the past? Doesn't really matter. So it's to me it seems like it's gonna go down, but this could be some good resistance right here. This line you see coming, a vertical line that you see coming up, it's a GAN line coming from the last low, from the last retracement low, major one. Euros had two since it's run up from 118, like 118 right here, and the second one, like, it's probably the major one, second major. It hasn't had a good one since then, and I think it's time for one because it's overdue. That's why I'm looking at this like, here's a weak chart. It's found resistance against the 20. What's the chance that it could go down about halfway down to here to this 127.8 level? Let's check that out. 127, 127. So 127.8 would be like right about here. So line going across about here. That is if it breaches this. On a 4-hour chart, this candle, inverted hammer, I guess you can call it, it's probably saying it's found resistance there, pretty good one, and that pattern's not over because I don't see any candle that will contradict that, especially the last few candles. And this, remember, it's a 4-hour chart, so each of those are representing 4 hours. All the candles, even to the high peak, have not gone above half of that long red candle, this one right here. So that kind of still means bearish to me, that it may breach this and come back down for the remainder of the evening. It's 6:34 London, Tokyo starts to trade about 7 p.m. our time. Usually I'll start to see activity between 7 and 9. Being more accurate, 7:30 to 8:30, I would say. So yeah, you'll start seeing that. Sometimes they come in early, sometimes they come in late. It's like, if you ever watch when London opens, it could start as early as like 1:30 p.m. to, like, I would say 1:55 p.m. to be exact. I've seen it a bunch of times where it takes off from that time to gain a bunch of pips. It's like when they make their trade, whether it goes up or down, crucially. And I've seen it as far as like starting at like 6 a.m. So it all depends on them, whether they come in the day, do it afternoon, or they come in at night. So for Tokyo, it's 7 p.m. It's 6:35 Eastern time now, so it'll be 7 p.m. my time. About a half an hour to go to see what will happen. What would they do? So I mean, right now, it's pointing down to me. MACD is fully bearish now. It's under the zero line. The only thing that gets me is that this sell-off that's happening, the histogram is showing lower and lower bars. That means there's less and less strength behind it. But it keeps finding support at this 10-day moving average on an hourly chart. So 10 MA. And then of course it's a little bit away, and it's down from 129. So 129 could be a resistance, psychological resistance, and then of course a little bit above that being the last high, which is this right here. So that'd be like 129.30 max. So 129.30. If you wanted to go short and you were to use that, including the pips that you may pay, the spread, you could look at it like 35 to 40 pip loss. And that's a pretty good mark. Actually, what would probably be a little bit better, but of course more risky, would be like a 55 to a 65, 50 to a 60 pip loss. That way you get a lot of this. Look at all this resistance and support and resistance and support. They can access support again for this. And then on this, I haven't checked it out, but looking at it, looks like it's bounced off a 38 fib. So let's see. Yeah, exactly like so. It's found resistance on one of the green candles. It's spiked above it on the first candle, that did breach above it and came back down to close. The next one, it found resistance there. Next one closed up there, and then the following one brought it back down. So that 38 fib right there is a pretty good resistance on that. So I'm looking for a drop in this to at least go down to the lows of the day. At 8 a.m. it hit a low of about 128, 1.284, and right now it's about 50 pips away from that approximately. So it's possible this is going to be a good pullback and it's going back down. Then here's a candle that worries me a little bit about being a hammer, or even I don't know if you would call this a shooting star. They usually happen up top, but again, like I said in my previous videos, doesn't matter what the candle's called. Just know what it does, know how it plays out. A candlestick measures the bulls and bears strength. You know who won it out here. Of course, clearly the bulls won it out. The bears were able to pull the candle down, but the bulls pulled it up, so it shows strength. So when you know what they mean, it doesn't really, all the other stuff doesn't matter. Just know what's important. So now if you were to go into this trade, I mean, you could take a high, you could take a high leverage trade with a very small loss. Still it's in a downtrend. Still 30 pip loss, and it's in a downtrend. And if it was to go above that, you can always close out your position and try, and reanalyze it and see. Here's the SAR, the dots that you see. If it does cross that, it will hit that dot, which will say that it's now started an uptrend. So it's possible that it could start uptrending, and this could just be a minor retracement, and we're headed back to 130 or above. But once you got an idea of where this may be headed, or what the price is saying now to you, you make the trade. You know where you stop out. Sometimes you can understand it in both ways, where you can reanalyze it, but kind of already know from the get-go when you put in the trade there. If I'm wrong on this one, I can take the trade opposite because it's going to go a lot more. On this one, I can't really say right now because I'm still looking through it. So here's a 15-minute again. The 38 we looked at on hourly charts, so the same thing. We can remove that. But basically, it's making a flag pattern now. This gets me a little bit, but it's possible. It doesn't have to always pan out. But it's possible that this flag could rise up to the highs of the 129.21 level, and then come back down again. I'm wondering if it's going to find support against this and ride up, or is it going to crack up below this? Because if it cracks below, it's going to probably go down. I have a feeling this is going to be a bearish week. The euro is going to end down than it is right now, or even for the week since Monday. Today's Tuesday, and I'm speaking at 6:41 p.m. So starting wherever it opened at this week. Again, sorry to point this out right here. You see these blue lines? These are weak. So from this blue line to this blue line was last week, and from this blue line on was Sunday p.m., 5 p.m. Up until now. So it's already kind of bearish. It went up a little bit, kept hitting that 130 level. I have a feeling this is headed down. So that's how I would place my trade. And then 15-minute MACD is also bearish. RSI has not, since it fell this morning, this down that I'm measuring at the Fibonacci, RSI has not hit 50. Here, look, here's 50. I'll go at 49, and it's not peaked. Here's was the closest one, and that one was at 46. So it hasn't done that. So that could be even, taken into consideration that with that, and then the stop loss, this MACD gets me, it's very possible that, this is going to go down at least to probably 128 level or even lower.